Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, we are back with another episode, guys. Chapter 24 um, of Genesis. So, hey, let's get into it. Chapter 24. Now, Abraham was old, well advanced in years, and the Lord had blessed Abraham in all things. And Abraham said to his servant, the oldest of his house, who was in charge of all that he had, he told him, "Put your hand under my thigh, and I will make you swear by the Lord, by Yahweh, the God of heaven and of the earth, that you will not take a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanites among whom I dwell, uh, but will go to my country and my kindred and take a wife for my son Isaac." So he's saying uh, he knows that he's about to die. He knows that his fate's coming up. Like he's gonna pass away, and so he wants to make sure that he finds the right wife for his son, and she has to be a special kind. She can't just be anybody. He does not want it to be somebody in the land that he's in, the Canaanites. Because he's in the land of. Let's go over here. Let me look at this right here. Yeah, right over here. Let me actually, so that way you guys can see it better. Beersheba. Okay, he's over here. His land is way farther over there near Nahor. Um, So he doesn't want anybody. He doesn't want a wife for his son that's anywhere close to the Canaanites. He wants his own kinsman. He wants his own blood to come back. And so he's telling one of the eldest or the oldest of his house. He's gonna make sure he's gonna put him in charge to find his wife, because he's not gonna take some 16 or 18-year-old or a young man or a woman. He wants the wisest, the smartest, the one who typically the oldest, right, to do this stuff. So he's swearing. He's gonna make him swear by God. So he told him, but go to my country and my kindred. So go to my country, go to my kindred, go to my blood. He said, he go to my blood and take a wife for my son Isaac. So he's gonna go to my country and find somebody that has the same blood as me. The servant said to him, perhaps the woman may not be willing to follow me to this land. Must I then take your son back to the land from which you came? So he's saying, look, what if I go there? He's telling Abraham, the servant. He's like, look, what if I go there and the wife says no? What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to come back and take Isaac with me back to where you're from? So he can pick his wife. Um, and the reason why he's asking that is because he knows, any day Abraham could pass away. Um, so and then Abraham said to him, see to it that you do not take my son back there. So he's like, do not take my son back there. The Lord, the God, Yahweh, the God of heaven, who took me from my father's house and from the land of my birth, and who spoke to me and swore to me to you. So now he's quoting God, what God told him. To your descendants I will give this land. He will send his angel before you, and you shall take a wife for my son from there. So he's saying, look, no, don't send my don't if when you go to my land, and if no wife wants to come with you back to marry my son, don't take my son and take him over there, because God told me that this land that I'm staying at right now will be for my descendants. That He's telling me, all this land right here will be for my son and his sons and his sons and his sons. A new beginning. Remember the new covenant that He made. And He's telling His servant, no, don't take my son back there. The Lord promised me that this is my land and this is where we're gonna stay. Um, and so And he's saying, he will send his angel before you, and you shall take a wife for my son from there. So he's telling you, look, when you go to the land, an angel will come before you and help you find my wife and help you find his wife. But he's also saying, but look, if the woman is not willing to follow you, then you will be free from this oath of mine. Only you must not take my son back there. So he's saying, look, if you do go there, an angel's supposed to go out there and help you. It'll lead you the way to find his wife. But for whatever reason, if you're not able to find her, or she doesn't want to come back with you, you're free from this oath. Just don't bring my son back. Don't take my son back there. And I feel like he's probably emphasizing this so much, like don't take Isaac back to the land to Nahor, because Abraham did all this stuff so his descendants can be blessed, and he can pretty much create a new nation for him and his entire lineage, a new beginning. So he's probably thinking of it like look, if my son does go back there, he might not ever want to come back. And all this that I did is a waste of time. So, but he's emphasizing, no, Isaac's gonna stay here. This is his land. right? God promised it to us. So yeah, so the servant put his hand under the thigh of Abraham, his master, his adoni in Hebrew, and swore to him concerning this matter. Um, then the servant took 10 of his master's camels and departed, taking all sorts of choice gifts from his master. And he arose and went to Mesopotamia, to the city of Nahor. Right, so they are. I have a little map right here. Let me zoom in. Found this one online, so I zoomed in too much. It gets laggy. Let me go back. That should be okay. It's still laggy. Okay, so they're over here in Beersheba way, right? No, I'm sorry. They're in Hebron. So they're in Hebron. If you can see by the map, the name, they might be blurry and stuff, but it's Hebron. And so, like he said, the servant took 10 of his master's camels and departed, taking all sorts of choice gifts from his master. And so he went to the city of Nahor. This is where Abraham was, raised. And this is his land. This is his people. And so he traveled all the way, him and his camels, from all the way down here, all the way over here to find his wife, for find his son and wife. And it said, and he made the camels kneel down. So I don't know how long it took. I know it took them from the Hebron all the way to Malloy, these mountains ranges up here, like 3 days. So it probably took them maybe 2-3 weeks to get up here, travel up here. And so then it says, we'll continue on. So he traveled to the city of Nahor, right? Okay, so now we're at the city of Nahor, which is all up here, or Haran. I think Nahor is his brother that. When I looked up online too, I looked up for the city of Nahor, but it kept on going back to the city of Haran, which says it right here. And actually, I need to zoom out because that way you guys can see it. Yeah, so Haran. It's the city of Haran, but I know his brother Nahor and his family lives here, so they're probably saying, in this little nation part right here, there's probably a city called Nahor. Okay, so and he made the camels kneel down outside the city by the well of the wall. I said that all messed up. I'll restart. And he made the camels kneel down outside the city by the well of water at the time of evening, the time when women go out to draw water. So he's like, look, I'm here. They finally got here, right? So the servant and his master's camels, and he also took servants with him. So they finally got there, and he made the camels kind of rest and pause, kneel down outside the city, by the well. Okay, there's a well outside where they get water. And it was specifically at the time of evening where the women go out to draw the water. And he said, O Lord, God of my master Abraham, grant me success today and pray for me and show steadfast, meaning as in kindness, and show kindness, love to my master Abraham. Behold, I am standing by the spring of water, and the daughters of the men of the city are coming out to draw water from here. Let the woman to whom I shall say, please, pray let me down. So it's let the woman to whom I shall say, pray let down your jar that I may drink. So meaning as in hey, please can you put down your jar so I can drink? And who shall say, drink, and I will water your camels. Let her be the one whom thou hast appointed for thy servant Isaac. So let her be the one that you have appointed for Isaac. By this I shall know that thou hast shown steadfast love to my master. So saying, by this I will know that you have shown kindness and love to my master. So he's just pretty much giving a prayer. It's he's there outside the city. He's by the well, him and his camels. He's gonna go up to so that's where he's at now, right? And then now he's okay, he's kind of saying a prayer, oh Lord God, master of my God of my master Abraham, grant me success today, help me, guide me, let me be able to choose the right woman that you want to be. He's kind of just a little prayer. But he also said too, he's kind of manifesting it, let the woman to whom I shall say. So he's saying, I'm going to go up to a woman and I'm going to tell her, hey, please put down your jar so I can drink water. And then she needs to respond, drink, and I will drink. So yeah, sure, drink from my water canister, and then I'll go get some more for you camels. So that's kind of the prophecy. That's what he's saying. And so before he had done speaking, behold, Rebekah, who was born to Bethuel, the son of Milcah, the wife of Nahor, Abraham's brother, came out with her water jar upon her shoulders. So, okay, he's there. He's saying the prayer. Boom. he sees Rebekah, not knowing it's Rebekah, but it's Rebekah that comes out. And so now Rebekah, let me come after this boy. Right here, Rebekah, okay. So Rebekah's dad is Bethu, okay. Bethu is the son of Nahor, which is his brother. So Isaac is gonna be marrying like his second cousin, right? Um, but I mean, Abraham did say he wants his kinsman, he wants his blood. So, and that's all that's saying there is, you know. So yeah, so Nahor is Abram's brother. They both had, you know, Isaac's also his son. So it's Isaac and Bethuel, they're cousins, but one of his cousins had a daughter, and so that's who Isaac's gonna marry. Um, so it says the maiden was very fair to look upon, a virgin whom no man had known. Um, she went down to the spring and filled her jar, and came up. Then the servant, so the man who was sent by Abraham, ran to meet her and said, "Pray, give me a little water to drink from your jar." So hey, please, can you put down your jar so I can drink from it? And she said, "Drink, my lord," or remember, drink adoni, meaning as in like drink. Remember, my lord, meaning in the sense of like speaking to a man. Drink, my adoni. And she quickly let down her jar upon her hand and gave him a drink. When she had finished giving him a drink, she said, "I will draw for your camels also, until they have done drinking." So she quickly emptied her jar into the trout. It's like that trout is like a water canister for animals. You know, if you look at farms and stuff, they have like big little canisters, and you could put water in there, and they can come and drink. That's so she let Abraham's servant drink. And once he was done, she put everything into the trout for the camels, and she went to go back to get some more water because camels drink so much water. So she quickly emptied her jar into the trout and ran again to the well to draw. And she drew for all his camels. So she drew enough water to drink all his camels. The man gazed at her in silence to learn whether the Lord had prospered his journey or not. So he's there, he's watching her, he's just like in silence. He's gazing, he's looking at her gaze and in silence, like, oh my God. To learn whether the Lord has prospered the journey or not. And so he's kind of like, he's kind of thinking, he's like, oh shit, this is the one. This is everything that I told the Lord that I'm going to do. And this is all that's happening. So when the camels had done drinking, the man took a gold ring weighing a half shekel. I think a half shekel is like, I have it here. Hold on. Let me command this. Yes. Right here. So it's a shekel is like, 1 shekel is 4 ounces, 0.4 ounces. So when the camels had done drinking, the man took a gold ring weighing a half a shekel and 2 bracelets for her arms weighing 10 gold shekels, and said, "Tell me whose daughter you are. Is there room in your father's house for us to lodge in?" So now Abraham's servant's like, okay, this is the one. This is the one who I traveled, 2-3 weeks for, and the one who God has steered for me, guided me towards. This is the one. So he took out the gold ring, the bracelets for her arms made out of gold, right? And said, "Tell me whose daughter you are. Is there room in your father's house for us to lodge in?" Meaning as like, can we stay in? She said to him, "I am the daughter of Bethu, the son of Milcah, whom she bore to Nahor." And that's just saying, like, look, my dad is Bethu. His dad is Nahor. My mom's Milcah. And she added, "We have both straw and provender enough and room to lodge in." So she's like, yeah, we have a bunch of stuff for you guys to stay in. The man bowed his head and worshipped the Lord, and said, "Blessed be the Lord, the God of my master Abraham, who has not forsaken his steadfast love and his faithfulness toward my master." So he's saying, like, look, so he, after this happened, he just knew. He's like, this is it. This is the one. So he prayed to the Lord. He said, "Blessed be the Lord, bless you." He's like, you have you have shown his kindness and love to my master, because you have helped me get the one that I needed to get. And I said, "As for me, the Lord has led me in the way to the house of my master's kinsman." So he's like, yeah, blessed be the Lord, bless Abraham, bless his son Isaac. They're happy, and I'm happy because the Lord has led me to the right woman, to Abraham's kinsman, to his blood. So then the woman ran. So after this happened, Rebekah ran and told her mother's household. So she went back to her house, and told her family what happened, because she's probably in disbelief and shock. So Rebekah had a brother whose name was Laban, and Laban ran out to the man to the spring. So after she went home, she ran. She was like, "Oh my God, you guys won't believe what happened." She told her brother, she told her family, the household, and her brother instantly ran back and was like, and ran out to the men to the spring to confirm that it was true. He's like, "What?" So we just ran back. When he saw the ring and the bracelets on his sister's arms, and when he heard the words of Rebekah his sister, thus the man spoke to me. So meaning, yeah, he came to me and talked to me. So the servant saying, like, look, after Rebekah told her house everything that happened, he came here and he talked to me. Um, he went to the man, and behold, he was standing by the camels at the spring. He said, "Come in, O blessed of the Lord. Why do you stand outside? For I have prepared the house and a place for the camels." So he's just like, "Oh my God, like this is you guys are brought here by the Lord, um, you guys are brought here for a special purpose." So he's like, "Yeah, like everything's ready for the house. We have everything you need. Come in, come in, come in, come in." And it says, so the men came into the house, and Laban ungirded the camels. So he put them like in their stalls and stuff, you could say, and gave him straw and provender for the camels, so food and water to wash his feet and the feet of the men who were with him. Then food was set before him to eat, but he said, "I will not." So the servant. So obviously they went to Rebekah's house. They prepared the house for Abraham's servant and his men and the camels. But he said, "Look, before we eat, I will not eat until I have told my errand," meaning as in like, I'm not gonna eat until the things that I need to do are done first. And then her brother said, "Speak on." Laban said, "Speak on." So he said, "I am Abraham's servant. The Lord has greatly blessed my master, and he has become great. He has given him flocks, herds, silver, gold, men servants and maidservants, camels and asses. And Sarah, my master's wife, bore a son to my master when she was old, and to him he has given all that he has. My master made me swear, saying, You shall not take a wife for my son from the daughters of my Canaanites in whose land I dwell. And you shall go to my father's house and to my kindred, to my blood, and take a wife for my son. I said to my master, Perhaps the woman who will not follow me. But he said to me, The Lord before whom I walk will send his angel with you and prosper your way. And you shall take a wife from my son, from my kindred, from my blood, and from my father's house. Then you will be free from my oath. When you come to my kindred, and if they will not give her to you, you will be free from my oath. So remember, they have the table down ready for food. He's like, stop, before I eat, I have to get something off my chest. I have to tell you why I'm here. What's the purpose? And he told them exactly what happened. And it kind of makes me make sense how like this man was chosen on purpose, because he was praying to the Lord. He was very cautious. He was very careful on how things went. He was very nervous. He wanted things to go the right way. Whenever everything happened, before he even ate, he's like, look, I got to tell you why I'm here. What's the purpose? And he told them exactly what happened. So this is a man that was chosen probably on purpose, because Abraham knew, okay, this guy's not going to mess this up. Like, this guy's going to do everything by the books. And it's important, right? Because it's his son and wife. It's somebody who's going to he's living with for the rest of his life and be the mother of his children, and who's going to take care of him. But it's funny, when I was reading this, it was like he's saying exactly what happened. So he's like good. He has a good memory. So he was sent on purpose. So I came today to the spring and said, O Lord, the God of my master Abraham, if now thou wilt prosper the way which I go, behold, I am standing by the spring of water. Let the young woman who come out to draw, to whom I shall say, Pray, give me a little water from your jar to drink, and who will say back to me, Drink, and I will draw for your camels also. Let her be the woman whom the Lord has appointed for my master's son. Before I had done speaking in my heart, behold, Rebekah came out with her water jar on her shoulder, and she went down to the spring and drew. I said to her, Pray, let me drink. She quickly let down her jar from her shoulder and said, Drink, and I will give your camels drinks also. So I drank, and she gave the camels drink also. Then I asked her, Whose daughter are you? She said, The daughter of Bethu, Nahor's son, whom Milcah bore to him. So I put the ring on her nose and the bracelets in her arm. Then I bowed my head and worshipped the Lord, and blessed the Lord, the God of my master Abraham, who had led me by the right way to take the daughter of my master's kinsman for his son. Now then, if you would deal loyally and truly with my master, tell me, and if not, tell me. that I may turn to the right hand or to the left hand. So he told them exactly what happened, word for word, bar for bar. At the very end, he said, "Now then, if you would deal loyally and truly with my master." So he's just being honest with them, telling them exactly what happened, not trying to like hide anything, not trying to be real mysterious. He's telling them exactly what it is, exactly the plan. And he told them at the end, look, if you would deal loyally and truly with my master, tell me. And if not, tell me. So he's saying, look, I'm giving you everything. I'm telling you the truth. I'm not lying to you. I'm not holding anything back to you. This is what it is. Now be honest with me. Be loyal to me. And tell me if you will. Be honest with me and be loyal to my master and true with my master. And tell me if you will. Meaning as like, will you come with me? And if you don't want to, then just tell me. He's just saying, be honest with me. Like I'm being honest with you. That I may turn to the right hand or to the left hand. Then Laban and Bethu answered, the thing comes from the Lord. We cannot speak to you bad or good. Behold, Rebekah is before you. Take her and go, and let her be the wife of your master's son, as the Lord has spoken. So he's saying, look, they responded back to him saying, this is coming from the Lord. Who are we to say bad or good? Like, hey, look, Rebekah's before you. She's in front of you. She's here. Take her. Let her be the wife of your master's son, as the Lord has spoken. You know, who are we to say no to the Lord? And then when Abraham's servants heard their words, he bowed himself to the earth before the Lord. So whenever they heard this news, they prayed and they thanked God. They were like, thank you, God, for this journey being successful. And the servant brought forth jewelry of silver and of gold and raiment and gave them to Rebekah. And he also gave to her brother and to her mother costly ornaments. And he and the men who were with him ate and drank, and they spent the night there. When they arose in the morning, the servant said, send me back to my master. So he's saying, look, I know I'm underneath y'all's roof, but please, can I take Rebekah now so I can go back to my master? Like, I need to be able to fulfill what I'm supposed to be doing. Her brother and her mother said, let the maiden remain with us a while. So he's like, let Rebekah stay with us for at least a little while, at least 10 days. After that, she may go. But he said to them, do not delay me, since the Lord has prospered my way. Let me go, that I may go to my master. So he's saying, look, please don't delay me. I need everything to go perfect. It needs to be an exact plan. The Lord has helped me along my way. He's been very gracious, and I don't want to mess with that. Just let me please go on my way. And then they said, we will call the maiden and ask her. So we'll call Rebekah and ask her. And they called Rebekah, and she said to her, will you go with this man? She said, I will go. So they sent away Rebekah, their sister, and her nurse. So they sent her like with a, somebody to take care of her to a degree, right? And Abraham's servant and his men. So my camera died, so the rest of this won't have video, but it's okay. So yeah, so they sent away Rebekah, their sister, and her nurse, and Abraham's servant and his men. So they said, okay, fine, you can take her. Rebekah said she wants to go. That's fine. You guys can take her. Here, I'm going to take one of her nurses will go with her. And they blessed Rebekah and said to her, so her family, before she left, they blessed her and said, our sister be the mother of thousands and of tens thousands. And may your descendants possess the gate of those who hate them. Then Rebekah and her maids arose and rode upon the camels and followed the man. Thus the servant took Rebekah and went away. So now they left. They completely left. They're going back to their land. Abraham. Now Isaac had come before Ber Lachoroi, meaning Ber Lachor, and it says, and it was dwelling in the Negeb. So he was over here. So he was over here. So while they were doing all that, right, they're over here, way up farther up north up here, like way up, like way farther all the way up here. He was over here in the Ber Lachoi, and was dwelling in the Negev, right? So that's just south, in the dry land over here. But then he came back over here to where he's from, Beersheba. So I was just saying, yeah, Isaac had come from Ber Lachoi and was dwelling in the Negev. And Isaac went out to meditate in the field in the evening, back in his house. And he lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, there were camels coming. And Rebekah lifted up her eyes, and when she saw Isaac, she alighted from the camel. So she got down, and she was like, "Oh my goodness!" Like she kind of almost was like, "I think that's the man. That's my husband." And said to the servant, "Who is the man yonder, walking in the field to meet us?" The servant said, "It is my master." She took her veil and covered herself. So she's probably like nervous, And the servant told Isaac all the things that he had done. So he told Isaac exactly what happened, word for word, bar for bar. Then Isaac brought her into the tent and took Rebekah. So like, he brought her back into his mother's house, right over here, where she bought. Took Rebekah, and she became his wife, and he loved her. So Isaac was comforted after his mother's death. So he was, he was he was able to, he was in a position, he was in a state of being like, okay, I'm happy, like I have my woman, um, and so that's pretty much it for the chapter. Pretty long chapter, but I guess the point of the story is how Isaac got his wife. So hope you guys like it, enjoyed it. My camera died, so next video to be on, it'll be charged up. So all right, you guys have a good day, and I'll see you later. Peace.